Alright, now we're in the second video of international issues, as I call it. We'll go through all that promo stuff again, or the introductory stuff. It's called Hemisphere Immigration Agreement. The United States of America is an immigrant nation, and we talked about this a little bit earlier when we were talking about population control in the U.S., having a national ID and doing those things, really taking care of our borders. Just because we should be able to walk up to anybody, the police should be able to walk up to anybody and say, let me see your ID. I have no problem with that. This is done in almost every other country in the world except us. We're going to get into doing some things about immigration. We're not going to build a wall, okay, as some idiot has been suggesting. We can militarize our border as we need to. Okay, we may have to, very well have to do that, either short term or long term. And I think that would be an extension of when I talked about earlier about restarting the draft, okay, for men and women, okay. That's one of the things that group can begin, one of the first things that the first recruits in there do. We will set up our borders, really militarize the border, and have it staffed with our own people, our own militia, created from the draft, and part of their 2-year assignment will be in rotation, keeping people out of there. So we'll control our borders. But the biggest thing, and this ties into world population control, which we're going to talk about in number 5. But for right now, we're just going to have to reach an agreement with the leaders of all countries in this hemisphere. You got North America, which includes Mexico, Central America, and South America. And in this case, our hemisphere is going to have to start trying to take care of itself. And I mean, housing our people, feeding our people, and giving our people the necessities of life going forward. And that's how countries should be rated, all right? And we're not doing the best job here. We should be doing much better, but we're not. And we're going to reach a point, I think we have reached a point, where America is full. When we start talking about population management, there's this little thing. You can go out there and Google world population clock, and you'll get some things that are going to pop up, and it'll just amaze you all the numbers that they've got. But, I looked at it the other day, and it was up to 7.45 billion people. And it shows you on a daily basis how they project numbers, and they show you how many people have been born today, on any given day, and how many people have died so far today. And the number of people being born is significantly higher, maybe not twice, but higher than those that are passing away, right? Hence population growth. This is worldwide. What we have to do, and I'll talk about this again in a minute, is we have to get a grip on that growth, and we need to take it back down to 7 billion, and probably head it back down to 6.5 billion, because that is a huge factor in us being able to slow the warming of this world. All right, it's really pretty simple. So we're going to freeze immigration into this country, okay, and we're going to have an agreement with our people in this hemisphere that we're going to work together, and we're going to work together on dealing with the fact that in the earlier one we talked about relocation, we're going to have relocation of people in this hemisphere due to the water level coming up. We're going to have to start figuring out way in advance what we're going to do, all right? Things could get really bad in the climate down the road. I mean, talking decades in the future, but we need to start talking about that now because of the dire straits we're going to put our grandchildren in and their children, all right? So we need to have each country own their own people, keep their own people. If we find a reason for people to be, migrate to another country, we'll work it out, but it'll be controlled, all right? So that's really the hemispheric immigration agreement. Countries in this hemisphere will start taking care of their own people, and they're going to worry about their birth control. Again, I'm deviating into that other thing a little bit, but they overlap quite naturally. All right. So we'll take care of that. An example of how the hard issues we're going to have to deal with is as the water level continues to come up, all right, and we have more and more of these storms, like Matthew. The Bahamas and Haiti just got ripped, okay, because they're not that far above water. And the water comes up 2 feet by 2050, okay? So we're going to have to figure out, for all the millions of people that live in all the islands in the Caribbean, they're all going to have to go to the mainland, and we're going to have to sort that out. And not trying to beat them up, but the people of Haiti, people don't want the people of Haiti moving in because they're just really a rather discouraging population there. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. But these are the things that we need to plan for. Okay, so there it is. Enough said on that. And okay, we'll talk. We'll get into the next one. And again, that particular agreement is going to have to be orchestrated and pushed through the Organization of American States, the OAS. So that's what their job is. We're going to make them do something for a change, something really significant. Anyway, that's it. Take care, and I'll see you next time. I hope you found that somewhat informative. Take care now.